think I'm perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. It's just perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm perfect.
Hey, welcome to the channel. So a couple of you remember that I put out a poll and then did a live stream about making a tempo build. Now I'm a little bit behind on this. This is actually a tomb build. And the reason for that is because I wanted to get it all into one video. Now after actually doing it and recording and stuff like that, I realized that there's way too much information to put into one video, so I'm having to break it up. This first video is going to cover the initial steps to start making the physical form and stuff like that. We're going to make some stairs, we're going to block out some bricks, and we're going to start actually cutting the shape of the hill and whatnot that everything's going to sit on. More videos going to come. We're going to finish out the initial foam, and then we're going to also create, do the texturing and stuff like that. We're going to build it up. Now, I don't know how many of these videos are going to be. It's going to be based on how much information I can get into a short amount of time. This is probably I'm going to try to make this the longest video. No promises though, and I do apologize for the length of this video. I do know it's a little bit long. Thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy. Alright, so we're going to begin. You can see I've got my miniature here. That's going to be a size reference, approximately 1 inch on the base. So I'm going to go ahead and mark on the ruler our 1 inch there. This is going to continue on to be to a desired length. I believe I wanted it about 25 feet, 5 feet per 1 inch, so that it's about 5 inches. The reason I chose 25 feet instead of anything else was, one, to give it a little bit more length than height, and two, to give me plenty of room to add in things like the gate and stuff like that. From there, we're going to go ahead and start making stairs. This right here, you basically cut out the 1 inch area, basically making a plank. From that, you can see what I did was I used another piece, marking that to find out what my length was. Again, going with 1 inch, 1 1/4 inches, making a slightly smaller piece so that it should make a stair step. This is going to continue for a little bit. The tool that I'm using is a foam cutter. It's a needle style foam cutter, I want to call it. That's probably not the right technical term, but it's like a wand. You can go use it just like a knife, or it's great for detailed decoration. It's not as quick to do straight cuts as some other people's table cutters, but you can see here that I make it work. Okay, so now that the initial cut's out of the way, what we're going to do is we're going to do a real quick fit. See that some of it's a little messed up, so we're going to go ahead and carve, try to make that nice and straight so we can get our fit in there. Again, we're going to clean it up, carve a little bit more. This is actually unnecessary just because we're going to cut more off. Now we use about the thickness of foam that we're going to use for our bricks. We go ahead and make more marks. You can see that I use the iron itself to make the mark and not anything else. And then we're just going to finish out our cuts here. Now we're going to start finishing off the rest of the stairs. We take that piece that we initially made, and we're going to cut this in half so that we don't have too much height. Cutting our longer piece in half as well. And you can see now we've got 3 pieces that start forming a stair step. And now we're going to use 2 pieces to make the final piece. And there you go, nice little stair step. Though you couldn't see too fast, I should have slowed that down. Now, with the stairs out of the way, what we're going to wind up doing is we're going to start making a brick pattern. And not a pattern, but we're going to actually make bricks. Now, I decided to go with individualized bricks so that I had a little bit more control over the way they set and which bricks to use and stuff like that. Utilizing this gives us a real good resource because it is it does alter the thickness of each of the bricks, and by altering the thickness of the bricks, it gives us a nice little layout to like, you know how some bricks pop out and some bricks don't pop out. Now at this time I've done a lot of cutting, especially the big blocks, so some schmutz have gotten on my wand, so it's getting close to time to clean it. You should see me clean it here in a little bit. Now these videos are sped up quite a while. This is like, I think this one right here is at 600 times. I figured you guys didn't need to see me cut bricks. And there you go. All I do is take cardboard, scrape it across while it's still hot, get a lot of that black smut off. You can see the black lines on there as I carve it. And more bricks. And of course, me messing up. So, changing tactics. Sorry about the lighting on this. Now, for my bricks, I use a simple pattern. It's twice as long as it is high. And the foam I'm using is the same foam that you would use for a diorama. I actually bought this from the hobby store. The kit that I'm currently using is specifically for dioramas. Now with all the bricks cut out, we're just going to do a couple of tests. We're going to look at how it lines up with my stairs, which I believe is already glued. And then we're going to see how all that lines up in our notch to make sure that it'll work. Oh no, can't be glued because I'm messing around individually with it. This is the part where I look very awkward. Alright, so now that I've got an idea of that, I'm going to go ahead and move that stuff to the side. And then we're going to start doing some tests to see exactly what angles we can get on there and still allow our miniatures to stand on this foam. Now in hindsight, this was not that good of a test. The foam has a different texture than once everything's on it. And that's something I should have paid attention to. So this actually was more of a waste of time than anything else, but it kind of gave me an idea. And I think I wound up trying to use this angle as my preferred angle, but later on you'll see that I wound up actually not doing that. I don't know if you'll see it in this video though. And all I'm doing here is just creating a template for getting my angles correct. Now that I have my template, we're going to move our big block in. What I think I'm doing at this point is I'm actually getting some marks and stuff going, and I don't think you can see it because it's kind of off camera. This is a fairly big piece, and to make sure that you can see some of the detail work that I was doing, the camera had to be in and close. Unfortunately, that means some things got left off camera. I do apologize. Okay, that initial line was where I thought my initial cut was going to be. And this is me trying out the angles and stuff like that just to see if they'd square. And yeah, the original intent was to have like this really long, like the edge to a burial mound type hill. I wound up changing that because I didn't like the way that looked after I got like some of it cut out and whatnot. And there I go, I'll go ahead and start cutting down the piece so that it's not nearly as long, realizing that that right there was not going to work. Yeah, I had, in the process of doing all this, I wound up bending my wand. And I just wanted to show you guys, to let you guys know that you can still use the wand even if it's bent. It still works just fine. And once it cools down, you can bend back straight. I don't know if you would want to do that too many times, but it worked in my instance, and I bend that thing all the time because, you know, I'm trying to strong arm it more than anything else. I did find that that angle actually worked out better for me doing this part right here, because I didn't have to hold the handle awkwardly. I could hold it ergonomically and generally get the angle that I wanted. And as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm not trying to cut the entire thing all at once. I'm cutting small triangles and bits out of it in order to get it correctly. And cleaning it off. Going ahead and make my shape. And for the shape, all I was thinking about was, with the angles and stuff that I had, what would look like it had plenty of runoffs and stuff, and what would be kind of interesting to put down on a table.
Now, this piece right here is pretty much going to be the entirety of it. I think I get this one side cut out before the video stops. So that's going to be about it for this video.
Alright, as you can see, we've started our hill forms with our little cutout with the stairs in it and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to spoil it because most of this is already built. It still needs some fine tuning, but it's mostly already built. But we don't want to spoil it quite yet. We want you to actually see it as it comes. At the end of this video series, we will do a complete look over it to include some mixing it in with some more of my terrain and whatnot, just to see how it looks with everything else. I've got a couple more things to do on it. I'm still doing some detail work and stuff that probably won't make it on camera, especially since I'm not sure where my camera went anymore. I gotta find that. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing, and you would give me a like, give me a share. Please comment on the bottom if you think I could do something better. A special thanks to Luke Apps, or Luke APS, Affordable Paint Service, DM Scotty, and the several other online entities that have been making this type of content for a while, that have inspired me to start doing it and have taught me a few things. There's going to be links in the description below to all their channels. Well, not all their channels, but to the 3 primary ones that have given me the gumption to actually do this. Sorry for the grainy video of my face, but thanks, and look for more videos. Keep crafting.